Here we go. As Juan Cruikshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork you will not get anywhere else. Colossians 3:23. Colossians 3:23. In the good book, it says, do all your work unto God and not unto man. Official. It's official now. Officially become a group leader at Life Church out here in West Palm Beach, Florida. I will be doing free boxing lessons, all right? Ages 18 through 65. Free boxing lessons. We'll be doing it about twice a month. Be starting them sometime around either November, December. Haven't nailed down a date, but the official sign-up sheet, if you are interested, the official sign-up sheet is available. I'll leave the link somewhere in this video. But before I get into the actual logistics of it and what it's all about, and I'll be talking more details in it as we go. I'm actually recording this the week. Next week I'll be starting to do regular live streams in which I'll have, regular details and be talking about it regularly with the people that show up and all that kind of stuff. I want to just talk to you a little bit about Colossians 3:23 and what it actually means to me and what it says in his word, what God says is his word. And again, at times, a lot of times, if you're a newcomer, I'm just let you know now, you just never know what you're going to get here sometimes in terms of, my preaching. Sometimes Pastor Aswan just comes out, and especially at times like this, when Life Church officially made it official, there were so many feelings that came about because I remember my first year. It was my first year out here in South Florida. And I mean, listen, you talk about struggling, you talk about needing to have faith, you're talking about, a situation in which I moved to Florida just a couple months ago with no job offer at all. And then I moved to South Florida because of a part-time job, not even a full-time job. It was a part-time job because I had so much faith in what it is I was going to be learning there. I had so much faith in what it is I wanted to do. I had so much faith in my plan. And it was difficult to find support. My closest family member at that point was a whole hour drive away, all the way in Cutler Bay and Dade County. So, again, I'm in the Fort Lauderdale plantation area, just literally by myself. All I had was work. All I had was these 2 part-time jobs, and I found a church, right? So I found a church, and I had these 2 part-time jobs as a boxing trainer. It's a boxing trainer at 9 Round. I was working for the Miami Dolphins, and I was trying to make those 2 jobs work. I was just getting by, just struggling to get by. 400 credit score. The car I had, the Mercedes, the Benz that I had, that my dad handed down to me, the engine light was on, so I was always scared to drive it. There was no radio in it, all right? So all I would do, there were some days where it was literally just me leaving this boxing gym and going to church, right? That was it. It was this 9 Round and this Keys to Life church that I found in Miramar, right? So long story short, both of those businesses, the boxing gym and that specific church, are no longer in business. They are both permanently closed, all right? And the leaders of these organizations, these businesses, I'm reluctant to actually call them leaders, to use that term leaders when it comes to them. Now that I'm, taking me back to that time. But they're two black men that, again, naturally as a younger man, I had kind of looked up to. I'd looked to for guidance. I felt I gave them I put them on a pedestal because of their skin color, a natural pedestal. And, there were situations in which I would try to do things like I'm doing now, right? I would try to create marketing opportunities, whether it was for the church or whether it was for that boxing gym. In fact, I remember going there, and there was a member from that church who would come and learn the boxing lessons. And there was actually a connection in which both of these entities, both of these businesses would have been mutually beneficial. And both of these owners completely shrugged it off, never took advantage of it, never actually said anything in regards, never actually tried to implement anything in regards to the work that I was already creating, the connection that I always was already creating. And I remember feeling very slighted. I remember feeling very unheard. I remember really kind of being in a situation where it's like, yo, look at the work I'm doing, look at the things I'm trying to do to help. And in many ways there was that sense of, oh, is God punishing me? Like, is there, why am I invisible? Again, one of my favorite books, Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. There was a piece of me that felt very unheard and discouraged. The right word is discouraged, again, because these are two black male business owners that were clearly, again, shrugging it off. And what I learned in that verse, Colossians 3:23, is that it was never about them. There's a reason that these two business owners that I'm referring to, I'm not going to say their names at all, but there's a reason that their businesses are no longer in business, right? And there's a reason that my focus needs to be, and your focus as well, in everything we do. You have to give it all to God. You have to give it all to God. You have to give your faith to God. Everything you faith. You can't worry about people, all right? And this is a prime example. I'm giving my testimony as a prime example, because had I been so concerned with getting their credit and, getting praise for them and, being in a situation where they're like, man, good job, Aswan, all that, I would have also inherited their problems. And their problems are, look, they're no longer in business. The thing that they invested in is no longer available. And this is why you as humans, we as people, we are not God, all right? Our focus needs to be on what we learned, what we picked up, how what we learned in the situations that we're in, how we can apply it and continue to do God's work, continue to introduce people to the word, continue to introduce people. Hold on, let me let this siren pass by real quick. Yes, continue to introduce people to what it's like to live a life full of abundance, full of faith, full of, just God's word, and understanding that it's all about the positive response to these things, all right? And when it comes to this particular activity, when it comes to teaching boxing lessons and giving people the confidence, giving people the understanding that, when I learn how to do this, there's a confidence that's going to come within me that's going to make it so I'm able to go nail that job interview. I'm going to be able to go nail it when it comes to the work I do, and I'm going to be able to nail it when it comes to, my work with my family and how I show up for my family every single day. If you want to see an activity, and I know this from experience, because when it comes to all the things I picked up in those 4 years, I was a regular boxing trainer. The things I learned, the things I added to my skill set, what I saw in these ladies, the majority of these members were ladies that came in. What I saw is how much it actually transformed them, how, they walked in. I was the one responsible for signing them up. And, for the ones that stayed over the period of a couple months, you saw how much it transformed their mindset, how different they were from the person that I actually signed up. And that's what it's all about, all right? Taking the things that you're learning and understanding that God is going to be the one that you need to answer to. Nobody else, no individual, no man, all right? And I'll close you out with this, because there's so much rushing back to me. It was when I was a kid, and I've been on record saying that Coach Brian Davis, my favorite coach that I've ever played for. And here's another one of the reasons. I have, well over thousands of reasons why he was such a great coach. But one of the things that he would always do is teach us as kids is how the word, how you always got to keep God first, always, no matter what, you always got to keep God first. And one of the things that I remember him telling us, it was after a win where he brought this verse to us. He goes, no weapon formed against you all shall prosper. Now, since that time, again, I was a kid hearing that. Since that time, I've heard that verse on many different occasions. But when you are able to give the word to people in particular settings and give the word to people in a certain form, in a certain way, when they're already showing up, passionate about this, that's when, again, you are just simply doing your due diligence in God's word. So again, free boxing lessons. I'll have a whole lot more on this. I'm so looking forward to connecting with the community. I'm so thankful for Life Church for giving me this opportunity. Again, this is 1,000% free for anybody that's interested in learning. If you're 18 to 65 and you're in that West Palm Beach area, this is 100% free for anybody that's interested in learning. The details will be in a link somewhere in this video. All that being said, if you want to dive deeper into all my work, it's makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswan Cruikshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.